Hi, hello, good morning everyone. This is Dr. S. Prakash, a professor at EEE Department, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. Following the biomedical instrumentation lecture series, now we are in the phase of lecture series 3. We will be seeing non-electrical parameter measurements. Under that, the modern imaging systems such as X-ray machines, computer tomography, that is CT scan machine, then magnetic resonance imaging system MRI, then ultrasonic imaging system, that is ultrasound scan, medical thermography, and then electron microscope. Basically, these were the main non-electrical parameter measuring modern imaging systems, right. So, we will move to this X-rays. The first one is X-ray machine, which is founded very early to the basic diagnosis. Of course, we all know when we have any fracture or any problem related to our bone and skeletal system, we will be using these X-rays. Three types of rays emits continuously from a radium material. These rays are known as alpha, beta, and gamma rays. The gamma rays are also known as X-rays. We are going to concentrate the gamma rays. The frequency of X-rays are approximately 1020, it's 1020 hertz, and its wavelength is approximately 10 to the power of 10 meter. Right, we are going to focus only on these X-rays or the gamma rays. So, these X-rays are electromagnetic wave which are widely used in medical fields and industries for inspection of human body or any other thing, right. That is, it is going to inspect the human body, X-ray machines, right. Now, if we are talking about that, then we should talk about how the X-rays can be produced. So, the production of X-rays can be produced with the help of high vacuum tube with a heater, cathode and anode, right. Basically, you will be having an anode and cathode, where you can see the passing and movement of electrons, right. So, here you will be having a closed vacuum tube with a heater, cathode and anode, right. Now, vacuum tube is operate at very high voltage. A special electron tube, that is known as the vacuum tube, which will be shown in the next image, which is used for production of X-rays. Such a tube has a hot filament cathode and anode, which are very heavy material, right. The electron flow from the cathode to anode in any diode tube, right. So, this makes the basic system, right. Hence, however, a large DC voltage is used between cathode and anode for X-rays, right. Right. Now, you can see the diagram, right. As what we discussed in the previous slide, you can see the first a closed vacuum structure, right, and I will move the mouse over that for your better understanding. You can see this is the closed structure, right. Then you can have a anode and then you can have a cathode, right. So, in this anode and cathode region, I have a heater element, right. I want to heat this system, right, to make the movement of electrons vigorous, right. So, then you can see between the anode and the cathode, right, I am going to give a DC high voltage potential here. So, this makes the flow of electrons between anode to cathode, or the movement of rays between the anode and the cathode, right. So, from the anode you can see the position is such that it will tilt the rays to fall over the region, and it get multiplied when it is in the heater mode, right. So, you can see this emits the X-rays, right. This part alone is known as X-ray tube, right. So, when heater is on, right, and very high anode to cathode voltage is applied, the electron emits from cathode and travel toward the anode with a high velocity, that is what shown in the previous figure. This beam of electrons strike the metal such speed that the new rays are made from the slanting surface, right. The material also plays an important role, right. So, this makes X-rays seems to bounce sideways, right, through the well of the outside wall of the tube, right. So, that is anode to cathode of the X-ray tube is increased, right. The wavelength of the X-ray decreases, same tube now operate at more than millivolts also. Okay. Right, we will move to the next step. So, this is the block diagram of X-ray machine, almost the complete structure of the X-ray machine. Okay. So, now we will see the main parts of the X-ray machine, right. First we will take this block, right. You have a filament current control, then the movement, that is the rotor control, then second one is a pulse duration timer, then third one is high voltage source counter. Okay. So, just you try to know this, then you can see high voltage transformer, then a high voltage rectifier, right. So, that is coming here and it is going to feed the structure, that is your X-ray tube, right. Then you can see the thermal overload detection, right. When it is going to be overheated, then it has to be stopped, otherwise the X-ray tube will get spoiled, right. So, that is why you will have a thermal overload detection. Then you can see from the filament current control, you have a filament supply which is given here. Then you can see from the X-ray tube you have the body is earthed, right. Then you can see this is the part where you are going to emit the X-rays, right. From of course, you can see this is going to be the supply line, right. Then you will have this X-ray tube is supposed to have a high voltage DC line, right. Whether this may be the positive end, this may be the negative end. Okay. Now, we will come to here. Once there is going to be an anode to cathode emission of electrons, this makes the anode to emit the X-rays, right, in a slanting position which is given like this. So, these X-rays are made to pass through the aluminum first filter, then it is going to pass through the collimator where the beam rays, X-ray beam rays are increased, right, and then it is passed through the patient. So, this diagram which depicts the patient, right. So, then it is collected through the lead shield, the X-rays are stopped through this lead shield, but in between that you will have a film which will capture the X-rays image, right, over our body, through our bone, through our skeletal system, etc. So, you can see the Bucky diaphragm, right, where from here it starts the collection of the X-rays, right. So, this is how the basic block diagram of X-ray machine will be. So, we will see the operation. As I told the operation, anyhow you will see point by point. So, you can see high voltage source and high voltage transformer. High voltage source is responsible for providing very high voltage to the transformer, but here this is a X-ray machine where you cannot give a constant high voltage all the time. Instead of that, you have to give it for the decided time only, because X-rays may also cause problems to the human beings if at all, if it is continuously supplied. So, that is why it is decided for a particular time, right. So, the transformer produces 20 kV to 200 kV at the output. These voltages are used to determine the contrast of the image, right. You can increase or decrease the contrast of an image, that can be done by this. The next is your high voltage rectifier. As you all know, the rectifier, it rectifies high voltages produced by high voltage transformer and supplies them to the anode of the X-ray tube. Then you will have a thermal overload detector. As we seen earlier, you will be having a X-ray tube. In the X-ray tube, you will be having anode and cathode, right. In between the anode and cathode, you have seen a heater element also, right. So, if there is going to be more heat produced, then you should have a thermal overload detector, right. If it exceeds the specified value, then the thermal overload detector is used to turn off the system. So, this thermal overload detector which used to turn off the system. The next is your rotor control, right. Most of the X-ray tube anodes are rotated by an induction motor in order to limit beam power at any spot and helps to cool the anode, right. You see the entire process where more heat is involved, right. So, the movement of the X-ray head, right, the tube over the patient body, even if you could have seen that with your practical experience also, you can realize this, right. So, it has to be done properly. So, that is why you need a rotor control, that is essential, right. Then the pulse duration timer, the patient does not receive the excessive dose, that is very important. X-rays may also be harmful. The film does not become overexposed, that is also the point to be taken care. Then the X-ray tube does not overheat, right. So, that is also a problem. So, the pulse duration timers determines this pulse duration. So, each and every step is very critical in this process. Then you can see you will have a aluminum filter as what we have seen in the basic block diagram. The X-ray beam used in the medical field, which contains a broad band of frequencies, right. The unwanted frequencies in the X-ray based create side effects, right, that is extra dose for patient causing tumor, also reduce the contrast in the image. These are called soft X-ray. To eliminate these effects, aluminum filter is used, right. We are producing a X-ray, right, then we are sending it behind the patient body to get the image or to get the structure of the skeletal system, right. In such case, if the operator does not trained well and if he is taking too much of time to complete the work, is also very dangerous to the patient, right. That is why they have shown that overdosage may also cause tumor to the patients, right. See, we come to clear our problem, right, for that we are creating a machine, right, to diagnose ourselves. But if there is going to be any problem because of using that imaging system or using the X-ray machine, then it is very hazardous. We should not go for the technique, right. So, that is why X-ray the technicians, operators, everyone should be trained well for this, right. So, excessive dosage may cause tumor. So, the timer is very important in this case and aluminum filter is also used for the same. Then collimator, another mean to reduce the dose of patients is to confine the X-ray beam only on the region of interest on the body of patient, right, not on all this. Say suppose I have my a small crack in my right hand, right. So, only my right hand can be focused towards the X-ray tube and the collimator via aluminum filter, collimator, etc., lead sheet. I do not want to focus my entire body, is it right? So, that is why always you have to focus only on the particular region. So, that for that also this X-ray tube alone with the aluminum filter and collimator, it is going to work for you. So, the diaphragm, X-rays inside the patient create X-ray scattering, right. So, which tends to burn the image to absorb the scattered X-rays and eliminate the burning of an image. A lead grid is used which is called a diaphragm. I have shown you in the just a minute, you can see this, right. This is the last stage, right, after the patient crosses the X-rays which is collected in the Bucky diaphragm, lead sheet, the entire structure. So, the scattered rays also will not be sent outside as easily, right. Instead of that, you have to collect the scattered rays through the lead shield, right. So, that is about the diaphragm. Then the film and the lead shield, where the X-rays past the desired region of the patient body are made to strike on the film, where they produce an image of the body, soft and hard parts, right. A lead shield is used to collect the X-rays after striking on film. So, the HV source produces high voltage supply, which are rectified by rectifier and applied to the anode of the X-ray tube. Filament supply is also provided. As a result, X-rays are produced, then this X-ray beam is passed through the body and produces images of the body and the film which is examined in the laboratory. That is the conclusion of the X-ray machine, right. High voltage source, rectifier, then through the X-ray tube, right, you are collecting the image and then it is examined. If you are going to have any problem in your skeletal system, right, you can see very easily on that. Then next is application of the X-ray, right. So, first one is detection of the fraction in bones, right. For what and all we use, because almost I think all of you know about X-ray, there is no doubt in that, right. We all know about the X-rays. So, The main application is detection of the fraction in bones, infection of lungs, kidney and other injury, presence of tumor. X-rays are used for treatment for tumor, uses of X-rays in industry, right. Not only used in medical field, these X-rays are also used in industry. First one for industrial radiography and fluoroscopy, then second one is for measuring the thickness of material, third one is inspection of metals, fourth one is inspection of fruits before packaging, right. It is not only for metals, right, human beings, but it is also used for fruits also. That is the use of X-rays in industry. Then we have a question among ourselves, right, explain the uses of the X-rays, right. So, X-ray machine was invented by Henry Becquerel of Germany, right. He made it particularly to inspect the diseases. X-rays are no doubt used extensively in modern medicine for detection of fracture in bones, presence of tumor, infection of lungs, etc. The uses of X-rays in industries are also follows. These were the things what we have listed out, but if you want to know in detail also, you can know. Right, I will say you some more examples also on X-ray in industry. Say suppose whether you take car, right, car manufacturing company where they are going to make the engine, the outer structure of the engine, right, which is going to be an a metal used and shaped structure. Say if there is going to be any minute crack on the inside of the metal, right, then that is passed through this X-ray machine for the metal strength test, right. Then only it can be done. Otherwise, you see a car is going to be an more than 10 lakhs and 15 lakhs like that, and in that the main part is going to be the engine, and the metal which is going to used for the engine, if it may have a small crack which may spoil the name of the car company, as well as which in turn is going to be bad to the owner who is going to purchase the car. So, because engine is going to be the major part in the car, and if it is not going to use the selected material, then it is useless, right. So, that is why these X-ray machines are used to detect the strength, and not only with respect to industry, and even we have given one more example that is about the fruits also, right. We are checking for the fruits also, if there is going to be the same level, right, or if there is going to be any rotten fruit or something like that, then that is also checked here, right. So, I have given some videos for reference to know more about the X-ray machine, right. So, these were the machines which are used, almost all the human beings may know about the X-ray machine, right. But for further better understanding, you can refer these videos. So, I have given some of the URLs, right. In that first YouTube video, you can exactly watch 20 to 24 minutes where you can get more applications, and similarly these URLs, and last one is about the digital X-ray machine, which can also be used, because the animated figures which in turn gives you the better understanding. Thank you. Next, we will see about computer tomography, which shortly we call it as CT scan, right. The term computer tomography or CT refers to a computerized X-ray imaging procedure, in which a narrow beam of X-rays is aimed at a patient and quickly rotated around the body, producing signals that are processed by the machines, right. That is, we use computers to generate cross sectional images or slices of the body, right. This is the general explanation for a computerized tomography, that is we used to call practically as CT scan, right. Here the same thing as what we have seen in X-ray machine, the same thing, but instead of seeing as a single image, here you can see slices of the images, right, and that too the complete images are processed by computer, right. So, that is an added advantage. So, when and where you need the image clarity, you can get that, right. So, these slices are called tomographic images and contain more detailed information than conventional X-rays. As you all know, it is very clear. If you take X-ray, a film will be there, where you can see straightly about the film and you can find out the information, right. But this will not work out for all the cases unless you have any crack in your bone or in your skeletal system. If there is going to be something, a tumor, right, anything like that, then it has to be examined in all the directions, right. So, that is why the modern imaging system moves to the next step from X-ray to CT scan. Once a number of successive slices are collected by machine's computer, they can be digitally stacked together to form a 3-dimensional image of the patient. It allows for easier identification and location of basic structures as well as possible tumors or abnormalities, right. So, under any normal or a simple structure, it is going to be different, right, but whereas if you have some structure like this, then the case is going to be different, right. Okay, we will move to next step. So, how does CT works, right. So, you can see how how does CT work? Unlike a conventional X-ray which uses a fixed X-ray tube, a CT scanner uses a motorized X-ray source that rotates around the circular opening of a donut shaped structure called a gantry. I will show the image, you can understand. During a CT scan, the patient lies on a bed that slowly moves through the gantry, where you will have the entire X-ray tube and the complete structure, right, moves through the gantry, while the X-ray tube rotates around the patient, shooting narrow beams of X-rays throughout the body. Instead of film, CT scanners use special digital X-ray detectors which are located directly opposite the X-ray source. As the X-rays leave the patient, they are picked up by the detectors and transmitted to the computer. So, the work is very easy, right. You can see a image or a structure of a CT scan, right. Just I will make my mouse. You can see this is the donut shaped structure, okay, where I will have this or I will used to call this region as the gantry, okay, and then in this gantry itself we will have the collectors. Once the X-rays are sent inside, the output from the patient is collected all over this, and then this region, and then it is processed through digitally through the computers, right. So, this is the CT scan machine. You can see that as what we shown, it is like an donut shaped structure where your entire body can be scanned, and then you can see this round structure where the X-ray tube will move towards all the directions, all the angle 360 degree, right, it can move and you can take the X-ray machine, right. So, we are talking about the slices of the images obtained. You can see these were the slices of the images, right. Say suppose I am going to take a scan in my head, right, brain. I can scan and I can get the images in various slices. That is why you see in most of the ads from the scan centers or the testing laboratories, they tell it is in 64 sliced, then you can see 34, 32 sliced images can be obtained through our CT machines, right. So, that is all the recent things. You can see the image which is given in the sketch in the PPT, the sliced machines which in turn gives more detailed information. Say suppose I am going to have a clot or any tumor in the case, then it can be viewed in all the angles. So, such that the doctors who is going to examine the CT scan, they may get a very clear picture, right. So, what is the problem? So, from comparing the X-ray machine, the advanced setup of the X-ray machine, that is your CT scan, which can give you some more improved version of identifying the abnormalities, right. You can see each time the X-ray source completes one full rotation, the CT computer uses sophisticated mathematical techniques to construct a 2D image slice of the patient. So, the image slice of the patient with the help of the software and with the help of the computer, you can identify the abnormality very easily. So, the thickness of the tissue, right, represented in each image slice can vary depending on the CT machine used, but usually ranges from 1 to 10 mm. When a full slice is completed, the image is stored and the motorized bed is moved forward incrementally into the gantry, right. So, the gantry is the outer structure where the patient is going to move inside. So, the X-ray scanning process is then repeated to produce another image slice. This process continues until the desired number of slices is collected. So, depending upon the normal abnormality, you can make many number of that is capturing the image, right, many number, and you can see find out. Then you can take the final copy, right. Before that you can have many advantage of correcting all those things in the computer, taking the relevant image, which area you need you can take that alone, right. These were some of the advantages. Image slices can either be displayed individually or stacked together by the computer to generate a 3D image of the patient that shows the skeleton, organs and tissues as well as any abnormalities the physician is trying to identify. So, if the computer to generate a 3D image of the patient that shows the entire structure in a patient, in a human being, you can see the skeleton, you can see the organs as well as tissues, etc., everything. This method has many advantages, including the ability to rotate the 3D image in space or to view slices in succession, making it easier to find the exact place where a problem may be located, right. So, identifying the fault, that is the major problem, right, and if you identify the fault easily making the exact location, making the dimension, the size of the dimension, say suppose if you are going to have a tumor, right, then even they can find out the exact size of the tumor also. So, that can also be represented. You can see this image, right, it is an courtesy image, right, from the CT scan company. So, you can see that and you can identify the tissues, organs, then your skeleton, etc., everything can be identified very easily. So, that is why we show this image. Then for what we use CT scan? CT scans can be used to identify disease or injury within various regions of the body, right. So, once we know about the CT scan, then we should know for what and all we have to use this. So, this is used to identify disease or injury within various regions of the body. For example, CT has become a useful screening tool for detecting possible tumors or lesions within the abdomen. So, within the abdomen region generally we will have some more problems. So, that can be very easily identified. A CT scan of the heart may be ordered when various types of heart disease or abnormalities are suspected. A CT scan of the heart, right. So, CT scan is taken for heart also, right, where that also you can find out the abnormalities very easily, right. So, in heart you may have so many problems, all the 4 valves, right, are very important. Most of the patients will get some problem on their valves, heart valve problem, then heart valves are in the veins, you will have the block, this may result to heart attack, right. So, before that early itself you can detect all those things by taking a CT scan. So, CT can also be used to image the head in order to locate injuries, tumors, clots leading to stroke, hemorrhage and other conditions, right. You can see the uses of CT, right, and you can see stroke and all, it is all a severe problem. A clot in the brain, that is also going to be a problem. All these things can be very easily identified through the CT. It can imagine the lungs in order to reveal the presence of tumors, pulmonary embolisms, blood clots, excess fluid and other conditions such as emphysema or pneumonia, etc. These things are also identified. CT scan is particularly useful when imaging complex bone fractures, severely eroded joints or bone tumors. Since it usually produces more detail than X-ray machine, this is going to be more convenient, right. You can see instead of X-ray machine, if you go to CT, it will provide you some more information. A 3D image can be given, which can be produced, and that will give you more information when compared to the X-ray. That is why we always prefer CT for abnormalities. Okay. So, we will see. So, CT machine is more convenient than an ordinary X-ray machine, right. So, the next slide is, I have given some URLs for you to have a better understanding, animated understanding and capturing the image on CT rather than an X-ray machine. If you have enough time, you can go and watch these URLs in your YouTube. It is a open source, it is free for all of you. You can just watch these URLs and you can get some more knowledge on CT machine working, right. Then how to capture the image, how you are getting the sliced images, how the gantry is rotating and operated, etc. everything. So, I will share URL also for you. It is very easy for you to understand very easily about the CT scan. You can follow these URLs. Thank you.